Chapter 6 Special Insights into Your Self-Angering Beliefs. We start again with one of the basic principles of REBT. Other people may really try to get you angry, but as Eleanor Roosevelt said about making you feel inferior, they need your permission to do so. So, why you normally anger yourself? You do so by creating IBs about others' unfair and unjust behaviors. Let us now show you how to achieve 3 important REB insights into your anger-creating beliefs. Insight number 1 is that yes, your present anger may have some connection with your past life, but not as much as Freudian and other psychologists often try to convince you. When you feel angry today at point C, the adversities, A's, that you are enraged about contribute to C, but do not directly cause it. Instead, your current beliefs, B's, about unjust A's largely and more directly cause C. Yes, your early traumas may have been important to this process, but they are hardly crucial. Your present adversities and your current beliefs about them are even more important. You will find this portion, of course, distinctly contrary to that held by several other methods of therapy. We do not say that your past experiences have no effect on your present behavior. For instance, researchers have found that children who are severely punished by their parents will develop a tendency to feel more anger and act more violently toward others throughout their lives than will children who are less violently or severely treated. While this indicates that to some degree there is a relationship between a person's early training and his or her later conduct, we had better not view this information as conclusive. We had better also consider possible genetic factors along with early environmental influences. The increased anger and violence of those raised in hostile circumstances may involve an inherited as well as an acquired disposition. For if parents have an inherited aggressive tendency, they may well pass it on to their child. If so, the parents may then react to the child's aggression with harsh discipline, which may in turn reinforce the child's violent disposition. This creates a vicious cycle of violence leading to more violence, a cycle that REBT seeks to break. Insight number 1 stresses the importance of the beliefs you hold today. In REBT, we don't dwell on how you arrived at those beliefs. The teachings you received from your parents and elders during your childhood may indeed have a great deal of influence upon your present beliefs. Yet, as stated before, you can change these beliefs, no matter how you may have acquired them. So it is interesting to discover how you came by your current IBs, but knowing what they are right now and working to change them, these are more important issues. Now let us examine REBT insight number 2. However, you may have originally acquired your self-defeating IBs, you now keep them alive by repeating them to yourself, reinforcing them in various ways, acting on them, and refusing to challenge them. Other people may have originally helped you acquire your IBs and even drilled many of them into you. But the primary reason you still subscribe to them is because you still brainwash yourself with them. Insight number 2 involves two closely related major points. First, you carry on your early anger creating IBs by repeating them to yourself and often acting upon them. You seem to do this automatically or unconsciously, but if you look more closely, you will see that you actively keep restating your IBs. Again, although it seems or feels as if your anger naturally persists once you make yourself hate someone, you actively keep it alive by frequently telling yourself that the person absolutely should not have behaved badly and is rotten for acting that way. Second, REBT holds that your original frustration leading to rage has little to do with your holding and retaining your anger for prolonged periods of time. Your ongoing or sustained view of that original frustration rather than the frustrating condition itself keeps you persistently angry. Suppose that you are very incensed because your parents abused you when you were a child. If you still hate them today, you'll most probably repeat the same beliefs you told yourself years ago. They unfairly and cruelly abused me when I was a child, and they absolutely should not, must not have done so. What rotten people they are. Unless you repeat your IBs about your original adversity and thus force yourself to hold on to them, you would most probably not retain your rage at your parents, although you still, of course, would remember and dislike what they did to you. So, your ongoing or sustained view of your original adversity rather than it in its own right would be the main thing that keeps you incensed. Insight number 3 of REBT states that in order to change your disturbed feelings and behaviors and the IBs that create them, you almost always have to do a great deal of work and practice. For no matter how aware you are of the self defeating nature of your irrational attitudes and actions, your awareness does not help you unless you effectively dispute and act against these ideas, and you can rarely do this without much practice and work. All your beliefs, whether rational or irrational, range from weak to strong. For instance, you may hold certain superstitious beliefs, but to different degrees. Although you may rationally know that black cats and broken mirrors do not lead to bad luck, you may still avoid them because you believe that they do. This shows that there is a considerable difference between telling yourself that something is rational and really convincing yourself that it is. Because beliefs tend to vary in intensity, you'd better strongly dispute your IBs at point D, disputing. No matter how aware you are that a belief is irrational, your insight will help you little unless you develop real skill in disputing this IB. And unless you dispute your IBs powerfully, you will still tend to follow them. Insight and knowledge alone often have little value. Remember, the more powerfully and consistently you dispute your anxiety creating or anger producing IBs, the sooner you will change them. The next chapter will outline basic strategies for examining and challenging your IBs.